of stories. My name is Melinda and I am here to do my weekly wrap up and vlog. As you can tell, I'm back in my usual sort of place, which means my daughter is back doing her part behind the camera. She, as I said, there was one video that I want to do on my own anyway, but she was sick this week, and so I just did it on my own while she was sneezing and coughing and all that. But she's feeling better now, so hopefully we won't hear her sneeze in the background. Anyway, I had a good reading week, and I have the vlog to start, so I'll go ahead and play the vlog, and then I will do a wrap up at the end of everything that I read. So, this is like the first, I should say, this is Friday, April 14th. I'm like doing the uploading right now for the first April vlog. So I'm already starting the next one. Look at that. Anyway, we're off to see tonight the Dungeons and Dragons movie. So my son is obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons. So we're going to go see it. We'll see. I heard it's actually surprisingly good, but it'll be nice to get out and do something as a family. My daughter's not happy about it, but she's also 14, so she's not really happy about anything. So she's actually been really good about working with me on this YouTube channel, even though for the last couple videos I've been kind of doing it on my own. But she's usually really good about working with me on that. So the reason you haven't seen her, or the reason I've had to do my other setup, is not because she was in a mood. It's just because for whatever reason she wasn't available. Anywho, so this weekend I actually have very little planned. I'm so excited that I have very little planned because, let's see. Oh, my husband has to do taxes. He hasn't started yet. So he has to do that. So I'll just I'm going to have to help my son get ready for outdoor school because that's this week. And then I'm hoping to get lots of reading done. So we will see. I'm going to try and do some more, like, this is what's going on with our life. So it's not just books on this vlog. So we'll see. I'm definitely tired. I just did a video and realized I hadn't pushed record. Oops. Anyway, it's Friday night. It's like 11, so I need to go to bed. I'll probably stay up too late reading, but that's life. I just want to do a quick little movie report that we did go see Dungeons and Dragons. It was fun. I don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, and I was still able to enjoy it. My son is totally into Dungeons and Dragons, so he kept saying, that's a blah, 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 and that's a blah, blah, blah. And I don't know what he was talking about, but whatever it was there. There was a gelatinous cube. That was the one thing I was looking forward to seeing, was a gelatinous cube. Hugh Grant, I've decided, only plays one role now. He plays it well, but he plays it in every role he plays. It's just the same role. So if you like Hugh Grant and his like smarmy old white guy thing, you'll like him in this movie because that's what he does. But it was still a lot of fun. I don't know if there's going to be more movies of it, but we'll probably go see it because we all really enjoyed it. So now I'm going to go take my makeup off because it's been a long day. And I'm getting up tomorrow to meet a friend for coffee. And then I will probably be nagging my husband all weekend to get our taxes done because he has not even started yet. It's April 14th. It is Sunday, April 16th. I just finished filming my 3 books I used to love but now disdain video. And I thought before I put this away, I'm going to do a quick little vlog, but my voice is kind of killing me. So let me wet the whistle for a sec. Anyway, I am still reading Come Tell Me Where You Live by Agatha Christie. And can I tell you how much I love that book so far? There was a really interesting little thing that I've decided that when I finish this, I'm going to do a full video review of it because I think I just really like this book. But I also think there's something really interesting in it, which is kind of like a little add-on to the whole Is She of Her Time sort of thing. Another little twist on it. I won't get into it now, but it was kind of like an eye-opening little rabbit hole I went down yesterday after reading what I was reading in the book. So there, I am still reading House with Good Bones. Excuse me. You know, this is what happens when you drink carbonated water and then you start talking. You like have burps. Sorry. So this vlog has burps in it. I'm sorry. Still reading House with Good Bones. I'm really enjoying it. I will say, personally, for my personal tastes, I would not say it's a scary book. I would say it's kind of a creepy book, but I would not say scary, and that's okay. I'm really weird. Like, I don't watch horror movies. I get so scared watching things, and if I listen to a book that's kind of horror-ish, I can get really creeped out. But I have a really high tolerance for it when I read it. I was trying to think of the only books that I've read that have actually like honestly scared me. And the only one that comes to mind, although I know there's at least one or two more, but the only one that comes to mind is Salem's Lot by Stephen King. That one scared me. I would have put it in the freezer if like that episode of Friends had existed at that point, but it didn't. So I didn't know about putting books in the freezer. That one really scared me. In fact, that's the only actual Stephen King horror novel I have read. I've read some of his psychological stuff, and that I've enjoyed, but I can't do his horror. It's too scary. And I know I've read a couple other books that really scared me, and I can't think of what they were. But anyway, A House with Good Bones, I personally don't feel it's scary. I feel it's creepy. Creepy is good, especially when you're reading it before bed, like I am. Let's see, what else? Oh, I'm still doing that. This afternoon I have to help my son pack for outdoor school because he's going on Tuesday, coming back on Friday. It's going to be weird for all of us, but I think it's going to be a really good experience for him. And I have that going on today. So I'm going to let y'all know, I'm hoping to finish. I might finish Come Tell Me How You Live today. We'll see how much reading I get done. And then I'll do a video of it, though. Probably. Well, you will have seen it by the time you see this video, probably. I will probably have it up this week, which means you will have already seen it. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to read after that. So we'll see how it goes. So I just washed my face. This is Au Naturel. It is the night of Monday, April 17th. I meant to actually do a video earlier today and didn't have a chance, but I did something today that I have not done in a very, very, very long time. I read a book cover to cover in one day. I didn't plan this very well. I put on the wrong side of my body. I read Wandering Souls by Cecile Pin. This is longlisted for the Women's Prize. I guess this week we find out what the short list is, so I'm hoping this one's on it. This was such a beautiful book. So wonderful. I'm actually going to do, oh, hi. The cat is licking my arm. Let's see if I can get her in the camera. She isn't, hi. No, she's not gonna cooperate. It's just such a beautiful, heartbreaking story about generational trauma with a Vietnamese family. I'm going to do a little shorts/reel recommendation of it tomorrow when I don't look like this. So tomorrow, my little guy, he's not little, he's 12. He goes off to outdoor school. He's very nervous about it, but I've been talking up, outdoor school. But this is not his sort of thing. Like, it's 100% his sister's sort of thing. The irony being, of course, she didn't get to go because they do it during 6th grade, and 6th grade was a COVID year, so she didn't get to go, but he gets to go, and this is not his thing, but I've been talking it up. He's very nervous. I'm nervous too, but I'm putting on a brave face. So I drop him off at school tomorrow morning, and he doesn't come back until Friday. Oh, my baby. He's growing up. So anyway, that's kind of what I've been reading lately. I'm awfully tired, so I am going to go to bed now, and I will update probably tomorrow. Hopefully I won't be crying. That would be embarrassing. I try not to be that mom who cries when she drops her kid off, but we'll see. Okay. We'll see how it goes. Do you want to say hi? You want to say hi, sweetie? Is that you? Yeah. She's a little camera shy. Our bedroom's kind of a mess. Oh, you're totally hiding from the camera. Good morning. It's early on Wednesday the 19th. I was hoping that my son's teacher would post some pictures from outdoor school on the little school website thing, or the class website thing, but excuse me, itchy nose, allergies. But that hasn't happened yet. I do know that where the outdoor school is, Wi-Fi is really spotty, so I might just get all of them on their way home once they get like into a service area. But anyway, last night I finished reading A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. This was my first book by T. Kingfisher, and I'm pretty sure it won't be my last because I quite liked it. It was very fun. As I said, personally, I found it creepy, but not scary. But mileage may vary on that point. It depends what your sensitivities are. Mara at Books Like Woe had said that she felt like it was kind of a metaphor for like when your boomer parents get sucked into Fox News and all that. I mean, I'm not sure that holds. I can kind of see it, but I don't know if that was the intention. I have dealt with that. My parents, my mother, got really sucked into that before she died. And then even with my older siblings, I'm starting to see it. And it's really kind of scary because they should know better. Anyway, not all of my older siblings. So I don't want to say it's like something that inevitably happens when you get older, that you get sucked into that, but some of my older siblings have. Anyway, I quite enjoyed that book. I am almost done with Bobcat by Rebecca Lee. I have one story left and I think it's pretty short. I may just push through it today. I really enjoyed that short story collection. I do think I'm going to wait until May to start another short story collection because I'm hoping to do the horror mayhem. Oh, sorry, my arm's getting tired. I should have just set up my little computer thing, but oh well. The murder mayhem in May, which is like short horror. I do have one, I can't remember the title now, but it was a recommendation from Ollie at Criminale. And I have that downloaded. And then I have on hold, well, paused hold until May 1st or next week or something. I don't know. A collection of horror short stories from diverse writers. I can't remember the title, but I'm sure when I get it, I'll show y'all. So I'm going to just kind of hold off on short stories until then, and probably just to continue to use that space in my reading time just to catch up on other reading things. So I did get to sleep in this morning, so that's a good thing. So at our school district on Wednesdays, the elementary school starts at the normal time, but then they have early release. But the middle school and high school has, instead of early release, they have late start. So my daughter goes to school a little bit later this morning, which means I could sleep in, and it felt so good, so good. Anyway, I will talk to you all later. I'm sure, I'm hoping maybe I'll finish Bobcat today. We'll see. I might just sneak that story in. We'll see how that goes. Hello, it is Friday, April 21st, and I am in the elementary school parking lot waiting for my son's bus to come from outdoor school. I think he's going to be really, really stinky. I don't think he showered the whole time he was there. That's okay. He asked for hot chocolate when I came to get him. So I swung by Black Rock and got him a hot chocolate on the way over here. Well, not on the way over here because it was in the opposite direction, but whatever. I also got myself a mocha. Considering it's 2:30 in the afternoon, this may be a mistake. Just we'll see how that goes. I thought I had vlogged about this, but I just looked at my last vlog and I haven't. I finished Bobcat by Rebecca Lee. I quite liked it. It was really good. There's 7 stories. The middle 5 are all in academic settings, which I thought was really interesting. The author is a professor. The first one is set, like so many short stories, it's set at a dinner party in Manhattan. And then the last one is this, it's set in like North Carolina, which is where she is, or at least where she was when she wrote this book. And I went to school in Virginia, and I really thought that she got like the atmosphere down in it. Anyway, it was a really good collection. Then I asked my friend who loaned it to me 9 years ago if she wanted it back, and she said no. So I don't feel bad anymore, and it's on my keeper shelf now. I am going to probably this afternoon do a little wrap-up video, so I won't go into right now what I am reading now. But I will do that once I get this all together. There'll be a little update at the end. One thing I did kind of want to talk about is I'm revisiting old habits in terms of the blog and reviewing, because, you know, I said I wasn't really going to do anything on my blog for a while, and that my reviews were just, I wasn't going to put work in them. So I said that. And then now I've started reviewing books again on my blog. I mean, not books that are solicited at all. Although I have gotten a couple books off NetGalley. I signed up with NetGalley again. But anyway, so I don't know what's up with that. I'm just kind of seeing where it goes. And I'm not like promoting the posts anyway. I'm just putting them up there. Anyway, the bus is not here yet, although all the other buses are here to pick up just like the regular school buses. So waiting for the kids to get home. And this afternoon I'll do a little wrap up of what I read and what I am reading, and that will be it for this week. Talk to y'all later. So that was my week. I'm going to go through quickly what I finished this week and what I am currently reading. So I actually had a really good week, reading week. I finished 4 books and they were all either rated an A or an A+. So the first book I finished was Come Tell Me How You Are by Agatha Christie Mallowan. I did a video. I'll put a card up for that, a video review of this. But I love this. This was a very unexpected memoir. This wasn't, when I picked up an Agatha Christie memoir, I wasn't expecting this, but I really loved what I found here. And it's kind of like an adventure that she went on. It was just so much fun. And then after that, I finished Wandering Souls by Cecile Penn. This is actually an ARC I got. I won it through a Goodreads giveaway. And I won it and I kind of put it on the shelf, and then it was announced that it was on the long list for the women's prize. So I'm like, I need to read that. But I loved this one too. It was very sad. It's about, generational trauma following a family. Well, a girl and the two older of her younger siblings. As they start off, they're supposed to like go ahead of their family from Vietnam to America, but tragedy happens, and instead of ending up in America, they end up in Thatcher's Britain, and it just follows it from there. But this was just a really beautiful book. And then the next one I finished was A House of Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. This is horror. I personally didn't find it super scary, but I found it creepy, which was good. It was a lot of fun. It was just a fun read. And I definitely think I'm going to read more T. Kingfisher, which is good because I realized I have at least one of her books on my Kobo. And it's a short one. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but it's short, so I'm going to read it next month for Horror Mayhem. I'll be doing a video. I'll put a video out next week with my April TBR. I haven't done a TBR video before, but I am going to do 2 readathons in May TBR. This is April. It's a May TBR. I'm going to do 2 readathons in May. So I am actually going to do a TBR for that, and that'll be out next week. And then finally, I finished the book that officially has been on my TBR shelf the longest, Bobcat and Other Stories by Rebecca Lee. There are 7 stories in this book. I quite enjoyed this. As I said, a friend lent it to me 9 years ago. I did get in touch with her afterwards. She said she did not want the book back, so it is going to go live on my keeper shelf. This was an A. A House with Good Bones was an A. This was an A, and the other 2 were A+ books for me. So, what I am currently reading now. I am reading The Feast by Margaret Kennedy. This book came out, it was published in, I believe, 1950. It was set in 1947, so it was written in a contemporary time. And the setup is, it's a seaside resort in Cornwall, and it starts, the thing has already happened, and that is that there was some kind of like cave-in or something, and a hotel was buried and people died in it, but not everybody in the hotel. Some people lived. And then it goes back in time, and we're working up to that point. I thought this was a mystery. It's labeled as a mystery. It feels more like a thriller to me, just because of the setup to it. So we'll see, because we know there's a cave-in. There's a question on whether it was a natural cave-in or if someone had done something to cause it, and whether or not that was intentional. But because we already know what happened, the mystery element isn't there, but the sense of dread that something is going to happen, which is what I find in a thriller, is there. One other thing I wanted to point out about this book, going back to the whole of their time in the Agatha Christie thing, I went to look up to see when this edition was published, which was 2021. But on the page, it had this comment that I've never seen this in a comment before. It might be in other books. I just haven't noticed it. But it says, this book, okay, here it is. The Feast was first published in 1950. The language in these pages is a reflection of the historical period in which the book was originally written. I thought that was a really smart thing to put there. Now, I have not read anything really offensive in this book, anti-Semitic or racist or anything like that. The only thing that even comes close is there's a point where like someone's talking about starving children in China and the baby Jews born on a boat, which I'm assuming is something to deal with like after the Holocaust or something like that. I don't know, but that's the only thing. I didn't really find that especially, I mean, there was no anti-Semitic terms in there. I just thought it was interesting that, and I'm only halfway through, so who knows what's in the second half, but I thought it was really interesting to find that statement in there. So putting a statement like that is something that happens. So I'm reading that. And then on my Kindle, or on my ebook, I'm using my Kindle right now, I dusted off my NetGalley membership, and I got some NetGalley books. And the first one I'm reading is a thriller called The Hike by Lucy Clarke. And it is about 4 women who go for like a girls' getaway to go hiking in Norway, and something happens. You know, that's what really happens, you know, whenever you have a thriller, it's, and then something happens. But then, and something happens. You know, it's been a long time since I've read a popcorn thriller, and this is very clearly a popcorn thriller. So I'm having to kind of resettle into that genre because I am trying to evaluate it on the merits of what it is and not compare it to some, you know, not compare it to, say, Wandering Souls. But, you know, it's going to be interesting. I've not really gotten to the real action of the book yet. I think I'm about 40% in, and we're just starting to get there. I will say that she brings Norway to life. That's actually what drew me to this book, because I've been to Norway. I love Norway. It's beautiful. And the idea of hiking in Norway, well, okay, I would not backpack in Norway because I'm not an animal. I need a hotel. But, but yeah, so that's all there. We'll see what happens. I'm not at a point yet where I can make any kind of determination of how I feel about this book. But that is what I'm reading now on my Kindle. And then, as I said before, I have 2 audiobooks going. I had hoped to finish The Levee by William Kent Krueger by now. I just haven't. It's a historical story about a flood on the Mississippi, I believe. And the main character was an engineer who designed a levee, or designed a bridge or a dam or a levee. I'm not really sure. And then he went off to war. So he had like designed it. And then his brother or brother-in-law actually oversaw the construction of it, but like cut corners and, you know, did not do a good job of it. And it failed and people died. And then he, the architect, was found responsible and guilty of manslaughter. So he is actually he's a prisoner. He's in prison right now. And so they have this other flood, and he's kind of pulled out to kind of help with it. You know, it's interesting, but I will say, I wish I were reading this instead of listening to it. Right now it's an audio only original, and so there's no option to just read it. And there's nothing wrong with the audiobook. I just think William Kent Krueger is an author that I want to read instead of listen to. So that's kind of it, but you know, I'm enjoying it. The other audiobook I have going is Family Trust by Kathy Wang. I'm like an hour into it. I can't say anything about it. It feels kind of Crazy Rich Asian-ish to me. Like American Crazy Rich Asian as opposed to like a Singaporean. I think that's where the Crazy Rich Asians is set. But, you know, I'm not to a point where I can say anything about it. We'll see. We'll see how that one goes. My priority of those 2 right now was The Levee, and I'm hoping to have that finished hopefully this weekend, and then I will concentrate on Family Trust. And then finally, I am still reading Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I have passed the 50% mark on it. So I'm enjoying it still. Again, I will say this, I think I say this every time, but reading it as a very slow and steady read is really working for me. I don't know if I could do it if I just sat down to read it straight through. So that is what I'm reading this week. So we'll see how this next week goes. I will either get a lot of reading done or not a lot of reading done. I have some things coming up this week that I kind of have to navigate, but I'm hoping for a lot of reading. So that's it. Thank you for hanging through with this vlog. And if you enjoyed this video, excuse my nose is itching. It's still allergy season here, even though it's raining. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to me so you can hear all of my babbling. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.